All right, guys. I was having a little camera issue. I'm not sure if it's the cable that's plugged into the Sony, but it wasn't showing up in Ecamm for some reason. So anyway, I'm here now, and we're good. So what I have here on this other view is the Line 6 Stadium XL. I think it's very important to distinguish between what is a Stadium and what's a Stadium XL. The Stadium XL has the scribble strips and the foot rocker over here, the expression pedal. But the Stadium does not have the expression and it does not have the scribble strips and a few less inputs on the back and a few less loops and stuff like that. So I see a few videos out there that says, "Oh, the new Helix Stadium," and I'm like, "Yeah, but you're showing off the XL, so you need to make sure you're referring to the product properly that you are." Andrew's in the house. What's up, man? This is the Kiesel. What is this? This is a Kiesel Kyber, and I intentionally did not put fret dots on the fretboard because it kind of gave it more of that classical guitar kind of feel. I do have side dots though, which is more than enough, especially when you're just looking down and you're mainly seeing the top part of the fretboard or the neck anyway. Having the dots on the fretboard is not that important to me, regardless. But yesterday I released a video which does not have that many views yet, so I need some people to go watch it. But I think it's a very interesting video on the DSP limitations that you have on the Helix, and now the Helix XL and the Helix Stadium or whatever else. And this is very pertinent to Andrew over here who's watching, is the fractal units do a little something different. So my goal for yesterday's video was to try to get as many amps into a preset as I could, and I can only really add 4. And on the fractal, they do something really neat, which I wish a lot of other people would adopt, is they have channels per block. So when you add an amp block, you're actually adding 4 different channels within that block, and you can have 4 different amplifiers or the same amplifier with different settings or whatever you want to do. And then on the FM9 and the XFX3, you can't do this on the FM3 because they only allow 1 amp block and 1 reverb block. But on the FM9 and XFX3, you can add 2 amp blocks with a total of 8 channels between the 2 of them. So that's 8 different amplifiers in one preset. If you just had to have a different amp per scene or whatever you wanted, then yes, you could technically do it. And the DSP is just already it's already allocated to allow that many amps in a preset. But it's really just 1 amp block that it has to process, and it's just allowing you to have 4 different channels. That's the same goes for the drive pedals or the drive blocks. You got 4 channels per block. And so if you have 2 drives in a preset, you technically have up to 8 different overdrives that you could engage, whether you're in stomp view or you want to engage them via a scene between 8 different scenes. And it's pretty cool. So I'm going to stand by this statement here once again, is if you are going to buy the new Stadium XL or the new Stadium, it's not going to be because of the Orgura amps or anything else. I mean, they're great, I'm sure, but to me, the legacy stuff is still just as pertinent today as it was 10 years ago. And you're going to get it for the creature comforts of the touchscreen and being able to type things in on the screen, with renaming presets and snapshots and whatnot. Like, for example, I can just go here and hit snapshot 1 and say rename and color and call this, I'm going to hit the X, I'm going to call it clean. And then my color is going to be like light blue, right? So now I have a light blue clean snapshot, and on the OG Helix, that would have took me like, I don't know, at least a minute and a half to like use the knob to go and scroll up and down between the different characters and the different slots within the name. And it's just, or you have to plug it into a computer and use HX Edit to name everything, and it's just slow. So, and unfortunately for the Fractal, that is very much the case for the Fractal as well. It is a little slower on the naming of things. But once again, if you have it plugged into FM9 Edit on your computer, then you can just use your keyboard to type in that way and whatever else. So, what we're going to do today in this video, and we'll also take all your questions. So, I'm going to be talking about adding legacy amps and effects to the Stadium XL. But if you want to talk about anything else, just go ahead and ask, and we'll do it. So, I don't need all the extra stuff that the Stadium XL has. So that's very true. I personally don't need the showcase because I just don't play live in that way. But it is very convenient to have the touchscreen and being able to name things from the screen and whatnot. Now, can I do the same thing on the OG Helix? Yes, I can. If I really had to, if I wanted to do it quickly and make all my presets here in the studio and then just go off to whether I'm playing at church or jamming with a friend or whatever I'm doing, once everything is set up, this is another thing that you need to get right or need to get in your head about mauling. If you had a pedal board roughly the same size as the Stadium XL, but you had like along the back row, you had all your reverbs and delays, and then on the front row you had all your drives and compressors, and maybe you have like a little wah-wah pedal right here, right? When you show up to a gig, you more than likely kind of know what sounds that you've practiced with and that you need. So you're gonna stomp through and turn on different combinations of pedals. But there's no menus to go into. There's nothing that you have to name. You just have to know, like, okay, when I get to this chorus, I'm going to turn on my blues driver and this delay. And you just tap dance and you just do that, right? Well, when you get past the tap dancing and you get into a digital unit, yes, you could show up to a gig and technically just create a brand new preset from scratch. But why would you do that to yourself, honestly? Why would you do that? If you set behind a pedal board and you work on your different pedal combinations at home or in your practice space and go ahead and have everything kind of pre-set up in your mind how you want, why would you wait to the gig to just do everything from scratch when you can just prepare everything beforehand? And that goes along with naming your presets, naming your snapshots, and not waiting till the day of or an hour before to be like, oh man, I forgot to add my super cool flanger to this preset, and now everything, yes, there's going to be times to where you, I guess, technically change your mind last minute, or you show up to a gig and now the room you're playing in is not the same. It's not giving you the same vibe and the same feedback that you were in your little dry practice space. And now you have to maybe go adjust some global EQ or whatever you're doing. And so there's going to be times where you need to kind of change things on the fly, or maybe a few minutes before the drummer starts playing the first song. But more than likely, you're going to have things more prepared beforehand to where you, like I said, you name all your snapshots, you name all your presets, you get the sound of each, at least, get maybe 4 presets put together that is your core sound that gives you good clean, good rhythm / crunch tones, all your lead stuff. If you're an ambient kind of player, if you have to have a certain, what is it? Like I said, phase, flange, chorus, univibe, rotary speaker. I mean, you kind of know what songs that you would put those in, and you just got to prepare beforehand. So anyway, it's a whole thing of preparing for a show whether that you're in a cover band and you have 40 covers that you're doing, or maybe you're in a wedding band and you just have your set list that you'll always play, or maybe you're in a original music type band and that night you're only playing 5 tunes. So maybe you just make a set list, drag those tunes or those songs or those presets that represent those songs into a set list, and now you just bang, 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 bang. You play. You maybe use your snapshots to or your scenes, depending on what unit that you're using. So snapshot 1 or scene 1 can be your clean, or maybe verse 1. You got your chorus, you got your bridge, and you got your solo, and maybe you have like a one-off other type sound that you just use sparingly from here and there. So that's why I love the song list feature. Everything is set for each song. Yeah, that's true. That is true. Yeah, the Fractal has song and set list options. The Stadium XL has songs and set lists. Headrush has a set list option. The Fender Toemaster Pro right over here to my right, that one has songs view, to where you can drag in different presets to create songs, and then you can go into your gig view. You can just step through each song and you can see all 6 of the presets that you've added to that song, and it's all gapless spillover and or gapless switching, and it's pretty great. All right, so let's just say, for example, I started doing this. This is basically what I did in my video yesterday, but I'm going to go ahead and add. I'm going to add an amp, and these are going to be legacy guitar, and I really just like the. Actually, they're not going to be legacy guitar. They're going to be regular guitar, but I want all the clarity and all the stuff. So what they've done is looks like they've kind of intermingled the Line 6 original amps, like just throughout the list. So I kind of like them being in order. Like, you have all your main stuff here, then you have the Line 6 originals at the end. What I'm going to have to do is, the 2C Plus is really great. But let's see, I like the clarity. I'm going to go ahead and add the clarity in there. Okay. It does automatically add a cabinet. So what I'm going to do is drag this down. And then if I bring it down like that and go like that, I now have an option to where I can make this a 1/4 inch output, and then this one is going to be my XLR only. And on the OG Helix, that would have took me, like, once again, maybe 45 seconds to a minute to turn, move, all the stuff. But on the touchscreen, you literally just move things around, and it's super fast. So if you are going to upgrade, you're not going to do it for the tones. You're going to do it for the flexibility and the ease of use. So there we go. So now you can hear. Okay, let's make sure this is going down to 2-path. That one. Okay, I don't know what key I'm playing in, but that's fine. So this is the Clarity amp, and it's just made to be super clean. I mean, we can drive it up. Let's see what it sounds like all the way. And these knobs are actually like kind of blocking my view a little bit. I want to get to the level. I guess I'm going to level right here. All right, so that is with the amp all the way up. And it's not squeaky clean anymore. I mean, you can definitely get there, but like it's kind of on the edge of breakup. And if we turn the boost on, we can get it really gritty. And that's actually a really cool sound. So what I plan on doing is taking pretty much every amp that's on the Helix, whether that's OG or Stadium, at least with the Stadium while I have it, because I do have to return it to Zounds, because this is a review unit. I do plan on going through every amp and just dialing in my settings and then just creating presets for those and then making those available on my website. So if you are a Helix user, and I'm pretty sure that if I make something on the Stadium, it will downgrade to the Helix, and then vice versa. I have to check on that, but yeah, just making presets that give you a good clean rhythm and lead kind of option for each amp, and then if you don't know how to dial those in yourself, then you can at least start with my settings and get that going. Okay. Now, with that said, with the Clarity amp here in the focus view, we have a warm and clean, mid-gain drive. We can just move our finger around and get 5 different options that you can do things with. So let's see what the mid-gain drive sounds like. Yeah, I think it's cool. I would probably bring the level up a little bit. Wow. Let's see what a big mid boost sounds like. And then we have a balanced clean. Still kind of on the gritty side, bright and thin. And then we have warm clean. That's cool. Now you can drag your finger and you can kind of see where things start jumping around. So if you like somewhere in between, like a warm clean and a balanced clean, you can just kind of drag it right there. And then you can always, adjust things as you need to. Okay, makes sense. Now, with that said, I'm going to, how do we bypass on this thing? On the other one, I guess I'll just do that. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and add another amp. And this is going to be an amp. We're going to turn the add cab block off. And then let's go find the Ventu. I like the Ventu. Oh, the Voltage Queen is actually really good too. I like the Voltage Queen. Let's check that one out. I have played with this one in the past, and it's always sounded really good. Okay, so once again, we want to... I'm trying to get where the... Okay, so it's not called channel volume anymore, or channel something. It's just called level. So the master is dealing with the actual master volume on the amplifier itself, which is driving more of the power amp stage. But the level is literally just like a fader that you ride up and down. So either it's the same tone, but either you want it higher or lower. Okay? Now the Voltage Queen has 2 drive options on here. I'm not really sure what this amp is based on, but this is pretty cool. Let's see what the top end sounds like. Woofy. Very woofy. Here's the Victory. Breaking. And then Spongy. Okay, it says based on Victoria Electro King. Okay, that's cool. So it does give you what it is based on, essentially. Okay, now this is still very gritty sounding. Maybe I'll turn down the master a little bit. which will change the tone overall. Okay, so this is giving me, definitely something good. We will bypass that. Let's see if I can add anything else. So I can't add another amp block on this line. So I have to go down to the next one, and then we're going to go add. Now, if they've taken the Line 6 originals and Agoraized them, then you're not getting the exact same thing that you would from the old options, because it is taking up more DSPs. Let's just see what they have. Okay, so all these legacy ones. So maybe they have converted them. I'm not quite sure what has happened with the Line 6 original amps. Because I did like them because they use less DSP. Okay, I see. There's a hard line right there. So all these on the top are your Agora amps. I'm probably not saying that correctly. Then once you get past the line, then those are the non-Agora amps. So the Clarity, all these other ones are non-Agora, so that's good. Aristocrat is really cool. That's a Line 6 original, and this is Line 6 original. So it says right there, Line 6 original. Okay, let's make this clean, which is it's not too clean. Bruce, I have a question for you. I will send you an email. It's a potential sending digital tracks through a tape machine type thing that this client wants, and he is looking around for those kind of services. So I'll reach out to you to see if what you charge and all that stuff. So, but my friend Bruce Kasperzak, he is Mr. Analog, and he has a 24-inch, 24-track, 2-inch tape machine, a half-inch machine, big Allen & Heath 32-channel console, and he likes analog, so it's good. Say hi to Bruce, everybody. Hello, Bruce. So once again, the Aristocrat is still kind of on that. It's on that very voxy, edge of breakup, light crunch kind of tone, which is fine. It's good. I do have my volume all the way up. Let's go to this volume. Make sure that's all the way up. We do have a chimey option. Okay, so I'm kind of just exploring these amps on the focus view just to see, what options we have. That's cool. Let's go back to clean. Let's bring up that level again. Bring up the treble and the bass. And bring the drive down. So I want this is the goal here. When it's on the bridge pickup with the switch down, I kind of do want it to live in that gritty territory. But when I go to the middle position, so that's kind of the goal with humbuckers, is find a sound on an amp to where you can get some good channel switching just by changing your pickup type. Okay, so a bridge pickup is going to be hotter, and therefore it's going to send more signal through the circuitry in the front end of the amp, and we'll drive it a little bit harder, and you'll get more grit. And then when you put it on a different position, which is not as hot, then you get, just less gain, okay? So I like the Aristocrat there. And let's go one more amp. And we'll find that line, which is there. And then the Litigator's good. I mean, I don't have tons of experience with it. Let's just see what we got. We can make it. I think there's supposed to be a Dumble type thing. So Litigator is like a judge. This is why they have clean slate, which means you're off the hook. Then you got the jury, you got the executioner, the judge, and then the summons. Okay, so let's go back to the jury over here. Okay, I could get used to that. That's pretty good. Here's a summons. And then we have the judge. Okay, so the volume went down a little bit. Let's bring that up to level. And then the executioner. All right, cool. I like all that. I mean, they're all good. All right, let's go choose a different amp. Now, what I should be doing is adding all these to my favorites, so I can actually get to them quicker. Here's the Carillon. And this is another Line 6 original. We got clean. And maybe the key, the goal or key for some of you guys is to pick one amp and then, dial in a few different snapshots within that preset. It's where you click one, you got clean, you click another, you got rhythm, you click another, you got lead. And you're only using one amp block, and that frees up a lot more DSP, so you can add in other wet effects and some high DSP stereo delays and reverbs and whatever else. So it's not necessary to have 4 amps in a preset. I'm just going to tell you that right now. You don't have to do it that way. But if you want to go from like clean all the way to full on metal brutality, then it's going to be kind of hard to find one amp that will do all that. Now the 2C plus amp in there does have a clean or normal and a overdrive channel where you can get kind of both. But the last time I tried it a week or two ago, it kind of had this pop sound when you swapped between different snapshots, which I didn't really think it needed to be there. So maybe it's either a bug or it's just something. But ooh, that's good. That's good. Lead. Okay, I like that. Maybe turn the treble up, turn the mids down, turn this bass back up, gain down. Okay, not bad. Snappy. Okay. The Carillon is pretty cool, but let's find something else. Welcome to the channel, my friend. Focus mode is great, but once you adjust a parameter inside, the focus point doesn't move. I wish Line 6 could share the rationale behind how that focus point changes the parameters. Well, it's just they've basically given you starting points, but what you're doing is when you move your finger, it's adjusting a little bit of everything. So once you adjust like the master, for example, like it has nothing to do with adjusting any of the other parameters, so therefore the dot on the screen does not move. Okay, it's only when you go between here that everything moves, right? But once you find a setting that you like, but then you want to tweak it just a little bit, then that's when you can go and adjust your mids, your treble, whatever you want, right? I thought I could have swore I heard from Eric from line 6 that you could store your settings to one of the 5 starting points up here, but I don't see where to do that. And it may not be true. It may not be a thing that you can actually do, but we do got bigger text. Let's go back. Okay. What does this do? Smaller text? Okay, I don't see any change there. So, but anyway, that's at least how I understand it. So I'm gonna go here, and actually, let's do this. What options do we have? Copy block, clear block, add to favorites, assign to switch, snapshot bypass. Okay. The Elmsley's cool. The Ventu I was really rocking over the weekend. This is a really good one. Let's see what the focus mode has for this one. This is another Line 6 original. We have Clean It Up. Okay. Breaking It Up. Okay, so let's just say, for example, I like Clean It Up, but the presence is way too high. And with this amp, you basically have a high-pass filter, which is adjusting your lows. You have a mid, and then you have a presence, which is adjusting your highs. So you don't have a true traditional low, mid, and high or bass, middle, treble type circuit on this. Or what do they call that? Not voicing. Something. I can't remember. But anyway. But yes, I like all this. And maybe take down the high pass filter so we have more lows. Yeah, I would love to have. Yeah, I would like to be able to store my settings to these points. And then you can like blend between your own settings and all that. But I just don't see a way to do that. Not at this time. If I hold my finger, no, that didn't do anything. This is not going to do anything. Rename device. Okay, cool. But overall, I like the Ventu amp a whole lot. It's very nice. But we do have Breaking It Up. I would roll off the high pass, get more lows on this one. Okay, that's interesting. Fat and Crunch or Fat Crunch. All right, cool. And then the mid-range drive. All right, so maybe for me, I would set all these to snapshot control, which you can do it that way, or you can just literally push and turn on each parameter. I have a video on this I released about a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, something like that. And so now, when you're in that focus mode, and I'm on snapshot 1, I can be like, I want it to be on clean. Then you just go store, or save. Go to snapshot number 2, like so. Maybe we go to the mid-range drive, but have the drive down a little bit and turn up that level. And then store that, save. Then make sure we go to snapshot 3, and then Fat Crunch. Do something like that. And then now save. And then if I look at my snapshots here, if I hit that first one, yeah, it goes to my clean it up sound. Go to snapshot 2, which is my mid-range drive, and then snapshot 3, which is the fat crunch. And then if I go back to snapshot 2, I want to name it real fast and call this rhythm, and maybe that's orange. And then snapshot 3, rename, I call this lead, and that's red. And that literally just takes me, 10 seconds or 15 seconds instead of, okay, let me take another minute and a half and use the wheel to like change the the characters and the naming and all that stuff. So all right, cool. Now, what's neat about this is you can have clean rhythm and lead for 1 amp and then have a clean rhythm and lead for a second amp that you have in there. And so let's go back to here to the Aristocrat, and let's go find one of those really heavy amps. There's the Doom, which sounds very doomy. Okay, let's see what options we have here. Doom Rhythm. Rhythm 2. All right, cool. I like that amp. It's pretty neat. Voltage is really nice. We have Mellow. Okay, I have both of these amps on. Sorry about that. Let's go back here. Okay, brighter EOB. All right, now if you're watching, go ahead and ask me any question that you want. It didn't have to be about the Helix. I can stop what I'm doing and I can address anything else that's on your mind. But for now, I'm just going through. The Placator stuff is really good. Cartographer. This is based on the Ben Adrian Cartographer. Now, to me, that right there, that looks like a Trainer amplifier from Canada, which I had a Trainer or two back in my day. And maybe it's not the same, but it's... That's a cool amp. Sounds good. Kinetic. Basically all these are going to be, they're going to be more on your crunchy to lead type stuff. Okay. The electric. Now in my video, I turned down the drive, turned down the bass a little bit. Turn that treble up. Yeah, I really like this amp. chunk. All right, so with all that said, let's go to our input. See how easy that was? That's so fast and easy. I love it. Okay. Save. Now, technically, at this point, we have 4 different amp heads. Yeah, sounds good. Please tell me what your real name is. Retta Buzidi. Retta Buzidi, 8152. As a professional guitarist, well, thank you very much. Wait, who are you talking to? Oh, you're talking to me. Okay, sorry. Do you think you can run a gig without many specific sophisticated effects blocks, compression EQs? I think too many blocks kill the preset. Yeah, I mean, if it was up to me, I would have 1 amp. What am I doing here? I would have 2 amps, 1 overdrive, like a tube screamer, and a delay and a reverb, and a tremolo, and that's pretty much it, right? For the vast majority of what I do as a blues rock kind of player, I just need a clean, I need a medium gain type rhythm sound, I need a lead sound, and then sprinkle in your delay, have an always on reverb, and you're done, right? So for example, the Ventu, I like this one, and we're going to go back to, we're going to turn that off, okay? These are going to turn on over here is what they're going to do. Okay, we're good. Maybe. I need to turn that one off, turn that one back on. Save. Okay, we're good. So I would just switch between these 3 settings on the Ventu. Right, nice and clean. Like if I choose my pickup selector. Right, pretty good stuff. Here's my rhythm. And then here's my lead. Now, with all that said, I like these other amp blocks. Let's just go ahead and delete them because we don't need them. And maybe I just want to put these amps up here, okay? Because what I can do is maybe turn this one off, go to my snapshot 4, and then turn this one on, and keep the drive down a little bit. Oh, okay, I see what happened. Sorry. The cab turned off for some reason. I have no idea why, but I like the open back cream, and we'll put a 57 on there, and make it 45 degrees. We do have a low cut here. We have a high cut. I'll turn this one down to like about 6 or so. Then, all right. So there's the basis of a very clean. And then my lead needs to be on right there. Save. Just kind of checking. Okay, there. Okay, so 2 different lead sounds, a rhythm, and a clean. Now, if I go in, and like I said, if I add I'm going to add 2 different reverbs. One's going to be from the Legacy. Well, first of all, let me do this. So one of the rules that I talked about in my video yesterday was go ahead and add whatever you think you're going to need. That's the most important as far as DSP goes. So right now I'm going to add the shimmer. And we're going, do we want to make it stereo? Let's just see if we can make it stereo. Okay. And for this one, we're going to make it pad-like. I'll turn down this intensity. Okay, I can adjust those settings later. But I like that one. Okay, right. Let's actually put it there, and then we'll add another reverb. And let's just see if I can add the double tank, because I like the double tank. Can we add a stereo one? Probably can. So it's very important to go ahead and add these first, so you know you have enough room left over for whatever else you want. So. And I swear these knobs at the angle I'm looking at, they're covering up the words, so it's hard to see. Now I like that, but me personally, I'm okay with just the Legacy 63 spring. Okay, didn't have to be anything fancy. And now turn down the mix. And I'll save it. Okay, now I want to add a delay. And a simple delay is fine, but I know the Legacy stuff works just as well for me. So I'm going to add the digital delay and then turn the mix down. Make that set to quarter notes. Okay, cool. Then I like adding, this is just me personally, since I've had the DL4 like 20 years ago, I like having the auto volume echo in there, which is why I always keep a Line 6 product around just for that sound, just because I love it. Right? Then we got stuff like that. And then if we turn on our reverb, we have okay. And that's essentially my I'll switch to snapshot 8 and I'll store that as that. And then for my clean, I'll turn all these off. Except for that one. Okay? And then save. So snapshot 8. And I'll go in and I'll name this. We'll call it swell. Like that. Okay. So I'm slowly filling out my snapshots here. And before I'm about to be done, but essentially the goal here, Rotaboo ZD, is to either have some stomps to where you can access those pretty quickly, or just set up 8 different snapshots and just scroll between your different snapshots. Because you kind of know as you play the tones you use the vast majority of the time. Okay, you're gonna need a clean tone. You're gonna need like a good crunch for like some just rock kind of rhythm type sounds. You're gonna need a lead sound with a delay and whatever else. So for example, on my lead right here, I'm gonna turn off that, turn off my big shimmer, and hit save. Okay, so this is gonna be my lead 1. So notice that on my clean, the delay turns off. Going back to lead, the delay turns on. Okay, a little bit of delay in there. Same will go for the other amp. And then we'll go in here and we'll rename. So this would be like lead 2, like so. Which I actually like that lead better than the other lead that I have, but it doesn't matter. Then we'll go in and add a distortion. I really don't mind the Legacy stuff, guys. I really don't. So I'm just going to do a tube screamer, drive all the way down, output up, tone and bass and treble somewhere in the middle, and okay, I'm already on that scene. Did I not save it? Save. Yeah, it's just showing 4 up there, so okay, that's fine. So I like that one. For my clean, I don't want that one on. Save. For my rhythm, I don't want that on. Save. For my that lead, I don't want it on. But for this lead, I do want it on. Okay? Okay? Let's go to snapshot 5. We'll go ahead and turn this one off. And I like having a tremolo. Once again, going to the legacy stuff, because it doesn't have to be all the latest and greatest. What do we have here? Depth all the way up. Okay, so this needs to be back on. Actually, what I should have done was this. So let me go ahead and let's see. What do I want to do? Go ahead and save this. Go back to my clean. Okay, this is what I'm going to do. See, that kind of changes the sound, doesn't it? What I can do is say here, copy snapshot, go to 5, we'll paste the snapshot, then we'll rename this and call it trim. Okay, so I was trying to find a way to keep the clean sound that I had without totally making it all different. And then for this clean, go back here and turn off that tremolo. So save. What's happening here? Okay, I don't like the bias tremolo. Let's do the opto trim. Optical trim is what I like. Misaligned window. What about the blues? Do you just want me to play blues or what? Or do you want me to dial in a blues sound? Let me know what you want there. So there's that. Okay. Okay, so going to my rhythm. Make sure all this is off. Save. Okay, there's the blues for you. Now, I technically have 2 snapshots left over. So let's go to the swell sound. And I will copy that. Go to 7. I will paste it. I will rename this to A and B for ambient. And basically just turn off the auto volume echo. Save. Okay? And I gotta turn off the tremolo, gotta turn off the screamer. Okay. Maybe the mix is 50-50. Yeah, I like it. Safe, safe. One more snapshot. What would I want to do? Maybe I'll go to my rhythm sound and go here, and I'll copy and go to snapshot 6, paste, rename. Instead of rhythm, I'll call it crunch. And there's essentially 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 different effects, 2 different amp blocks, and you're just keeping it real simple. Okay? So save that. And for this crunch, I want the tube screamer to be on. Okay? And notice I'm just doing tap tap on that disc icon to save. If you hit once, you go into all this kind of thing. But if you just tap tap, twice in a row, it'll save it. All right, so going back through, as a professional, this is pretty much all I would use. Is just a good clean. Right, go to my trim. Now for that trim, I do like having some delay on there. Maybe I'll turn this down like so. Maybe a little bit more feedback. And as I'm turning, I'm pushing. So these, so the snapshot is engaged for that. Okay. Then go into my rhythm. Go into my crunch. And then go into my lead. Once again, the tremolo's on there, which is why we're going through and checking all this. Lead 2, which once again, the tremolo is on there. Save, save. Okay. 7. Right, and go to swell. Yeah, there you go. That's pretty much it, guys. So the new Stadium XL, the new Stadium without the expression pedal and without the scribble strips, they're both great units. The ease of use that the touchscreen provides is really great. It's just immaculate. I love it. That's why I like the Toemaster Pro. That's why I like the Headrush. The QC also has a touchscreen. So pretty much anything with a touchscreen just makes life easy. Not saying that Fractal isn't easy to use, but it's just not as quick and snappy if you want to change things on the spot, other than just reaching over and tapping the screen and you're there. Now, I guess you do have to deal with, if you got beer drinkers flying around on the stage and you're dropping beer on your liquid on the machine. I mean, what's going to happen? I mean, I don't know. I don't know what horror stories are out there with fractal units and OG Helix units and new stuff with touch screens and whatever else. So it is what it is. Many other tone chasers recommend to put a compressor before the amp, EQ in between the amp and the cab. Many pieces of advice that confuse me. I am lost. Yeah, you can totally do that. And the reason why you would want to add an EQ after the amp is for this. Okay, so for example, I'm going to go to EQ, and I like the Cali Q graphic. And what that gives you is essentially the sliders that you get on a Mark V Mesa Boogie amplifier. And what typically is going to happen with a like a Metallica type sound is you're going to cut that 750, maybe boost a little bit of 6, a little bit of 2, a little bit of 4, or 240. So you get like a nice smiley face kind of view there. And what you can do per snapshot is you can turn that on and off. So okay, let me bypass that. Okay, do you hear the high-end brightness kind of coming in more? I can also cut these mids even more versus off. Okay, so we're shaping the sound after the amp with an EQ, and it's very popular to do stuff like that. So I'm going to keep that sound, and let's say now I'm going to walk back through my presets. So for my clean, I'm going to have that EQ be on, because maybe I just like what it does to the overall sound. Now what you can do is, once again, push and turn. So these are being able to change per snapshot. So maybe I don't want the high end boosted on my clean, but I do like that 750 scooped out just a little bit. Maybe like only down by 4 dB or so, right? So just do something like that. And then you hit save. Maybe you'll do the same thing for the tremolo. Bring that up, bring that down, whatever. You can also use this to raise or lower volumes of your preset, because there's a gain switch right there, or a level. All right, so now going here, going over to rhythm. For that one, I'm just going to have it off. Okay, so save. For my crunch, I'm actually going to keep that on, but maybe not have the mids cut as much and not have the highs. So similar to like my clean sound. Okay, going to my lead. Once again, maybe cut the highs, or not just have it boosted as much as before. All right, save. Go to my lead 2. Okay, like that. Save. Here's my swell. And on this one, I will not cut the mids as much. Save. Then my ambient. Maybe turn down the 6K. Turn back up to 750. Okay. So there's an EQ, right? And then if you want to add just a compressor only on your clean sounds, but not your rhythm and lead stuff, then you can do that as well. So just go, we're going to add the dynamics block. And these are all things that you see on a like a studio board for here in Nashville. You see a lot of guys with a 7-band EQ, like the graphic EQ from Boss. And then you'll see a compressor, you'll see some overdrives, modulation, maybe a chorus and a tremolo, and then a delay and reverb, or maybe 2 delays in 1 reverb, or 1 delay and 2 reverbs, or whatever, whatever they got. But it's just all very typical type stuff. So 3-band comp. I'm just going to do a Rochester comp. This will give me plenty of options here. Going back to my clean. And on the focus view, this is where you see the gain reduction meter. Up in the top right hand, or on the left side. Okay, maybe we'll do like a parallel. Now, we are using the level to boost 7 dB, and that's going to drive more gain to the front end of the amp, which maybe you don't want. I'm also going to turn down the ratio, just make it like 4:1. And then maybe turn down the threshold a little bit. Okay, so I like that. Save, go to trim. I like all that. We'll go to swell. So that compressor there is going to help the low volume information to kind of rise up more. Stuff like that. Same for ambient. But for my lead, I'm actually going to turn that off. Okay, so save, this lead, save, this crunch, turn it off, save, rhythm, turn it off, save. So that way I only have the compressor on for my cleaner stuff. Now, when I was switching around, I heard the delay turn off. So let's make sure that our trails are on, which means when something is bypassed, the decay or the effect keeps going. Okay, and that's what we want. Now, there are tons of other amps in the Helix ecosystem, tons of other cabs, all kinds of stuff. But if I were making a preset, this would be the one I would make right here. Okay. Now go ahead and hit save once. I will save it. How do I rename it? Okay, there. And then we'll just call this doc capital main preset. Okay, and go back. So that would be, I would just show it to the gig or show it to church or wherever I'm at, and just that would be my sound, right? I have my clean. Go through these one more time. My tremolo with a little delay, my rhythm. Then go to my crunch. Especially for recording, having 2 different rhythm or crunch sounds, then you pan them hard left and right, sounds really, really good. Then you got a lead. And then lead 2. Okay, cool. I like it. I like it a lot. See what other things we have here. Yeah, let me know your name, Retta Bozidi, and where you're from, so I can keep up with you when the next time you hop on the stream or watch a video or something. Now, you could take this preset here, and you can literally go through every other amp and say, okay, now I want the clean to be a Princeton reverb, and I want my dirt to be like a JCM 800, right? But once you get your template kind of figured out of like, here's my drive, here's my compression, my EQ, my modulation, delay, and reverbs, you can go switch them out to other things, but at least you've established some sort of template or layout that you're used to working in. And this is why I originally went down and added a cab on a second line down here. Because what that allows me to do is I can send the full rig plus a cab or IR out of the XLR output, which is typically going to either a recording audio interface or maybe a front of house guy. But then I can bypass the cab and take the 1/4 inch output on the back and send that to the effects return of a real amplifier if your amplifier has an effects return. And thus you're bypassing the virtual cab and using the real power amp and real speaker of a real amp, and you're getting that amp in the room type sound. Okay. And when you go ahead and set this up like that, you don't have to go to a blank preset and then have to do it all from scratch. You just take this one preset and you can basically save this and just keep doing like a, if I do this way, do like a save as new or save a template. Oh, I'm actually going to do that. Save template. Okay, check this out. So you got an empty preset, you got a quick start, super serial, parallel switch, parallel blend, 4-cable method. So I'm going to add a new and dock main preset. Okay, so there's my, if I go, where do I do this here? How would I do this? Okay, new preset. Okay, so after you hit a new preset, you just go down to dock main preset. I guess double tap. New preset. Okay, there we go. So it gave me a new preset, but it added in my template that I've already created, which is pretty awesome. I feel like the OG Helix has that maybe, but I've never used that. Well, I've never seen where that's an option. So I'll definitely look into that for sure. But you really don't need to go and just make 50 variations of the same preset. It's just kind of silly, honestly, once you think about it. Because you're gonna have a good, maybe if you're a jazz player, especially. I mean, you just need a good clean tone for the vast majority, 90% of your jazz stuff. Maybe if you take a lead, then you'll kick on a tube screamer. Maybe you'll have like a little slapback delay for some rockabilly type things. It really just depends on what you're going for and what kind of music that you are used to playing. My name is Rita from Morocco. Awesome. Excuse me for a second while I go Google where Morocco is. I'm just kidding. I'll look it up later. But yes, you can go crazy and explore all the different amps, all the different overdrives, all the different stuff. But at the end of the day, you just need to get clean rhythm and a lead, and then sprinkle in whatever other types of sounds that you want. So for me, I like to have a tremolo. I like to have an ambient type thing. I like to have a swell. Right? This is all things that I would do with the old Line 6 DL4. And then give me a good lead sound. What's really cool about this angle is the body pretty much looks like the fingerboard, right? Because we got the black and the brownish kind of look, and then we have the black and brown on the fretboard. They just all like seamlessly go together. I love it. It looks really cool. I really didn't plan that, but it's how it turned out, and it looks really good. So Anyway, there's a Kiesel Kyber for you. And all right, it's 5:31. I'm gonna go eat some dinner. And thanks for everyone for checking out the stream today. I was a little late messing with some cameras, but I got it figured out, or at least enough to, go live and just have fun. I do not own the stadium. This is a loaner from Zounds.com. Zounds are my official affiliate partner, which means I can just, say, I want to check this out, and they'll send it to me, and I can play with it for, 30 to 60 days, and I can send it back. But I do have Helix presets on my website. If you want to go help support the channel that way, it's only $20 one-time fee. You'll get all free updates for life, for all the presets that I add to it in the future. And so I will do my best. I will name this, and I will upload that to the website along with the preset that I made on the OG Helix. And then y'all can be playing around with those. And as far as I know, there's really no limitations between sharing presets between one unit and the other. I'll read the manual on that to double check my work. But yeah, I think they should be fairly compatible because there's no block limitations on either one. And if you made a preset with a Agora amp and you try to put it on the old Helix, it might just switch it out for like a different one, or maybe it'll just bypass the block altogether and you have to go in and change it. So I'll look it up and see what the limitations are on creating a preset on one unit and then converting it to the other unit or an older unit. But yeah, with all that said, give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video, and subscribe down below if you have not done so already. Yeah, I've had fun today. This is cool. Just trying out different tones. And yeah, I'm gonna go have some dinner. So you guys have a great rest of your week. And I am Dr. McFarland. I will see you in the next video. Keep rocking.